we're so privileged to have Mrs. Rebecca. I'll get the other name as we program. Mrs. Rebecca is right here as this morning with us, all the way from the national headquarters of the National Orientation Agency, Noah Abuja. Madam, you're welcome to the
Good
program
morning.
this morning on ITV.
Thank you for having me.
How's your trip to Benin?
It was fine.
Okay. Okay.
It was fine.
All right.
Yeah.
The Director General,
Yes.
Madam
Larry Isa
Onilu ought to be here,
Yes.
but because of his busy schedule,
Exactly.
he had to
You know,
send it to
unavoidably absent.
Absent, all right.
So I have to be here to represent him.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know. So,
All right. So when we talk about national values and ethics, all that, what exactly are we talking about from your perspective?
yes, when we talk about national values and ethics, we are actually talking about a national identity. National identity in the sense that Nigerians are resilient, Nigerians are hardworking, Nigerians are audacious. Nigerians, you know, whatever they put their minds to do, they do it, both in and in the diaspora. So the national identity we are talking about is moving Nigerians from the bad or the negative identity we have had, both within and outside Nigeria. You and I know that whenever Nigerian passport is seen, if you have traveled, you know, you are looked at again. They want to look at you again to know if we should let you go or we should hold you back. That is not our identity. Our identity is a hardworking and a resilient Nigerian, a God-fearing, a truthful Nigerian. You know, we have to present ourselves. We have to portray ourselves to the world. That is why we are launching the National Value Charter. Okay. The National Values Charter is all about the Nigerian promise and the Citizens Code. What is the Nigerian promise? The Nigerian promise is if you tell me as a Nigerian to be patriotic. Patriotism is an emotional thing. If I am not motivated by my leaders or by the country, I have no reason to be patriotic. That is why the National Orientation Agency came up with 7 for 7.
What do you mean by 7 for 7?
We have 7. We have
values.
the 7 national, the 7 Nigerian pledge by the state. Then we have the Citizens Code. We have 7 Nigerian pledge. Okay. We have the 7 Citizens Code. Now, the 7 Nigerian pledge is talking about equality. Everybody is equal before the law. We are talking about democracy. Give me the right to vote and the right to vote for who I want to vote for. The next one is entrepreneurship. Give me the environment. Nigerians are hardworking. They are hardworking anywhere and everywhere we go in the world and within. If the government would provide the enabling environment, Nigerians are their spirit of entrepreneurial is high, and we will progress. Now, if the government, that is the state, we are not talking about the president, or we are talking about the government now, the state providing for its citizens the enablement to build and to progress. The next one now is peace. What can we do without peace? Peace and security. Any country that has no peace and security cannot develop. So the National Orientation Agency came up with these codes, the Nigerian Promise and the Citizens Code. What has Nigeria got to offer you? What has Nigeria as a country got to offer the youth? Like the Americans, they will always tell you that their country has a lot to offer them and they can do anything for their country. Do we have that? We do not have that because people are discouraged. Based on this, like we have had in the past, Andrew, don't check out. We have also had Nigeria, good people, good nation. We have had change begins with me. But it's always been on the citizen. Nobody has actually looked at what Nigeria as a state should offer its citizen.
All right, so from your own perspective and perhaps at the perspective of the National Orientation Agency, this time now you are asking the question, or you're also letting Nigerians know that, hey, this is what Nigerian state has for the citizen.
Yes.
Okay.
What we are saying now is, as Nigerians, this is what you should expect from your leaders. You should expect as much as equality. You should expect as much as democracy, the right for you to vote, and to vote for whoever you want to vote for. You should expect as much as peace from the state. They should give you peace and security so that you can go about and do what you need to do and progress. The Nigeria country, the Nigeria state should also inclusivity. The youth should be inclusive. Women and every other aspect of the nation should be inclusive in governance. Then we're also talking about freedom. Do we have freedom of movement? Do we have freedom of speech? We should be giving the environment of freedom. Freedom to do the right thing and at the right time. We should also meritocracy. Meritocracy, not because I know somebody in the National Assembly, even if I'm not qualified, then it is given to me.
Now, but before we progress, we need to get something, because from the way the National Orientation Agency is going about this now, it appears that the National Orientation Agency, mind you, madam, is an agency of the federal government, so that we don't think that National Orientation Agency is now running as an opposition, to the federal government, making demands from the federal government. One would have thought that the National Orientation Agency ought to be the agency that government should use to accomplish some of these tasks, some of these requests, or some of these national identities, the way you put it now, that Nigerians ought to know. But what we've been saying, I mean, I'm old enough to know how Nigeria was during the MAMSA era, and of course, I'm also old to know how Nigeria is now during the National Orientation Agency. Now, what do you think has been the challenge? What are the issues with government agencies like the NOAA? What are the issues that all this, because it's not the first time we're talking about all this. I remember the era of the rebranding Nigeria issue. Your own organization also had a role, and little we saw. So what has been the issues?
You mentioned MAMSA. During MAMSA, you and I would agree that before now, the technology had not gone this far. We are talking about ICT, we are talking about social media. They were not there. So MAMSA just had the radio and the TV and the megaphones.
But MAMSA made so much impact.
Yes, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
MAMSA made so much impact. But right now, the rebranding we are talking about, we are everywhere in the social media. We have the AI. We have the AI application right now. We have technologies there. We have Mobilizer, we have the Explainer, trying to reach the youth. You would agree with me that over 75% of Nigeria's population are below 35 and below. So trying to reach, we cannot use the instrument we used during MAMSA at this time, because the youth, they are not even to text. They are all about vision. They are all about what we can see, and we talk about it. And that is why the National Orientation Agency has the artificial intelligence tools right now
Okay.
that we are using to get to the youth. And if you are in the social media, you would see recently, I am a true Nigeria. I'm a born Nigeria. I'm a resilient Nigeria. There are challenges, and the youths are coming up. They are coming out and being inclusive. You know, knowing that Nigeria can actually be better. We don't need to fight, or we don't need to push. Nigeria can be better. So our message actually is the National Values Charter.
Okay.
The National Values Charter, like I said, is all about the Nigerian promise and the Citizens Code. Then respect for national symbols. Because you will not, when you go to countries, you see how they respect their currencies.
Now, what are these national symbols? I know some of them. I know that the national flag is our national symbol. The national anthem is our national symbol, which we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
Then the currency you talked
Is our
about,
national,
the naira, is
yes.
our national symbol.
Yes.
So please, I want you to let Nigerians know this morning.
Yes.
Because this program is watched globally, all around the world. What are these national
Our
symbols?
passport is our national symbol.
Okay.
You have mentioned the currency. You have mentioned the national anthem and the pledge. You have our passport is our national symbol. Our passport, our currency, our
Maybe some other things.
yes,
That,
you know.
yeah.
We have these symbols that we need to. The national flag.
Yeah.
You know, we need to respect our national flag when it is supposed to be hoisted and when it's supposed to, to sleep. Okay. So the FEC actually gave the National Orientation Agency approval to be in charge of all this.
Okay.
You know, so and like the National Values Charter, right now the FEC has approved. You know, any government appointees, elected members should go through a 2 weeks National Values Charter retreat
with the National Orientation
with the
Agency.
National Orientation Agency.
Oh, really?
Before they assume duty.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we want to enlighten Nigeria that you have a right, you know, but it's not just you. It's not just you expecting from the state. We also have a stake.
Your own obligation too,
yes,
as a citizen.
Yes, as a citizen. And what is our obligation? Our obligation is to be disciplined.
That's one.
That's one. Then duty of care. Be your brother or sister's keeper. We are known for that. But because of the erosion of our values, we know what it is today. That is not Nigeria. That is not our identity. Our identity is being our brother's keeper. Then
the exercising of our franchise is our obligation too. Yeah, we need to emphasize that.
Yes. Then the Citizens Code, like I said, is discipline, is a duty of care, is a tolerance, is a leadership. Every Nigerian is a leader. You know, tolerance, because of our diversity. We have to accept our cultures, each other's cultures, traditions, and religion. You know, and accountability. If you are accountable, you can't be corrupt. You know, we have to be accountable as citizens.
Yeah.
Then entrepreneurial, environmental awareness. We are aware of the global
climate change.
So we have to be aware of our environment so that we don't destroy it further, you know, as citizens. Then we have resilience. Nigerians are resilient wherever they go. We are resilient.
Yeah.
Irrespective of the odds, of the pains, and anything, Nigerians are resilient. Anywhere they go, within Nigeria and outside the country.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the national anthem. Now, recently we saw Arise Patriots be changed to Nigeria. You know, most of us, I should say, we're still struggling to learn the words and all that. Now, the Noah, because I'm sorry, I'll keep on talking about the Noah now. Now, in this perspective, an agency like the Noah has not really come forth to actually drive home the national anthem? Because, I mean, like my own children in school, they have their anthem. They say it at any time. But as a Nigerian, most Nigerians, they cannot even recite the national anthem, let alone to have the words in their heart. Because it is when you have the words in your heart, that's when you can actually carry the nation in your head. You understand? I mean, the words of Nigeria we hear, they are very good words, but most Nigerians don't have it in their heart. So what do you think should be the role of your own agency, or what have you been doing in this direction?
Okay, right now, what we have done, like I have the national anthem flyer.
Okay.
We have done this and we have distributed to schools. If you are also on the social media, you would see children, singing the new national anthem, and playing with it, and it means they are interested. So we are out to teach them the lyrics and the importance of the lyrics. Why at this time we need to go back to this national anthem? Because we are seeking unity and peace in Nigeria. That is the reason for the national anthem. And as we speak, National Orientation Agency, because of our spread, because we are in the 774 local governments, we are everywhere teaching the national anthem, distributing this to every school, in the market, and everywhere.
All right, so let's talk about the challenges that your agency has, because I know when most times we talk about the National Orientation Agency, most minds just go to, oh, that's a federal government agency. Little do many Nigerians know that the contributions of the state is there. I mean, the funding of National Orientation Agency is not something for the federal government alone. That I know. The state government has a role, the local government has a role, and all that. So how do you think the government should help in this direction? So that you can actually, because I think from the way I'm looking at it now, that has been the problem with the NOAA. I mean, the state may not have been coming forth in their contribution towards actualizing your set objectives and goals. Local governments may not have been coming forth. So how do you think this second and third tier of government, the state government and local government, how should they come forth, this time?
Like I told you, the FEC passing the National Values Charter.
Yeah.
That is giving the National Orientation Agency a huge task. And that is bringing us out to the public. That is showing the public the importance, and elected leaders and
officials.
Yes, appointed officials. There is telling them how important we are. You see, the 2 weeks compulsory retreat that we must give elected as Nigerians and is very important.
Yeah.
So that is going to bring the National Orientation Agency out, and I will tell you that we have not been well funded, but we still do our job. And the President, Tinubu Ahmed, has realized the importance of National Orientation Agency. And that was why all these memos were passed in the FEC.
Now, this retreat you talk about, is it going to be that at the end of the day that maybe elected officials and
appointed public
and government appointees now that they'll be given a kind of a certification
that you have gone through? Yes, you have completed the training on National Values Charter.
Yeah.
National Values Charter.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be part of it.
Okay.
And it would be part of it, and you know that you have a certificate of competence, a certificate of National Values Charter. And if you don't do what you are supposed to do, the citizens know what they expect from you. If you don't do what you are supposed to do, they speak up. This is what you have gone to swear an allegiance to. So we expect this from you, and you have to deliver on what you have, on the certificate you have.
Okay. Now, I want you to talk more on civic responsibilities now, because for us as a station, we have a role to also let people know that, hey, these are your civic responsibilities. A lot of Nigerians really don't know. They don't want, they don't care. I mean, imagine in those states, we just had an election, and some of the reports we had is that there was a voter apathy. I mean, a situation whereby a lot of persons really don't care about the civic responsibility. So how can we really get it right in this direction? That, look, civic responsibilities are so core, they are so important as a citizen of a nation. I mean, if in some villages, you still have some villagers know that, hey, they must clear the roads to the stream, the roads to the farm is a duty upon them. Why is it that Nigerians don't care about civic responsibilities? How should we get it right?
That is the reason why National Orientation Agency is out. That is the reason why I am here. You know, to talk about the need that we need to be hopeful once again. You know, the civic responsibility, the need for citizens to carry out their civic responsibilities. Yeah. You know, because that is your citizens code. If you expect so much from the state, you should also do your part. You know, the voter apathy you are talking about is we need to talk more, and that is what we are doing. If you would agree with me, there was really no violence in the Edo election.
At all.
There was no violence, and that is kudos to us, because we did our job, because we came before the election to enlighten and sensitize Edo people that there is no need for us to fight during the election, because if you fight, you may lose your mandate. You may not get your mandate. It was violent free. You know, so I think that is a step in the right direction.
All right, so Madam, as we wrap up civic responsibilities as duties of Nigerians, and also the charter that the National Orientation Agency has just launched. One good thing that you have said is that the Federal Executive Council has mandated the National Orientation Agency that's with effect from now, that political office holders and public office holders, appointed public office holders, should go for a retreat with National Orientation Agency. That's a good one. That's a good one.
National Values Charter.
Charter. All right, so civic responsibilities, debts should be registered as part of civic responsibilities. Debts should be registered as part of civic responsibility. Also, registration, the national identification number
is it talking about, talking about the birth registration.
Yeah.
As we speak, for the past 1 month, National Orientation Agency foot soldiers have been everywhere registering birth. Yes.
But we don't
for
see
the past 1 month.
Yeah, the jingles are not on television. They are not on radio. Most Nigerians are not aware. It's not just enough for us to. I mean, it took us extra mile to bring you here. If I had not come for you, probably you wouldn't have been here. But if you come, you bring the message to us. We'll let Nigerians know, and we'll help you. You also help your agency. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. All right, so we want to say a very big thank you to Rebecca Nasamu, that's the Director General Services of the National Orientation Agency, headquarters from Abuja. Madam, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, sir.